Big changes may be coming to the Big Y Plaza on Walpole Street. The planning board met with representatives of Cedar Realty, which owns the plaza. Phil Mackey, the council representing Cedar Realty, described the major improvements that would be made to the shopping center.
But basically, as you come in the site, we're proposing a fairly significant change as far as landscaping goes, so that you're not just entering into a sea of pavement. On this particular plan, you can see kind of the red areas that we're removing pavement and adding some green space. And I'm not going to try and tell you that we're turning the parking lot into a park, because that's not the truth, but we are absolutely making this a much better plaza for everybody. And there will be a significant redevelopment of the facade so that basically all of the stores look like you have a new plaza. And we actually believe at the end of this that the plaza will be something that is state-of-the-art. Big Y uses world-class supermarket as their tagline. We think this will be a world-class store in Norwood, off of Walpole Street, and I think that's what the area deserves.
The biggest change will be the complete teardown and rebuild of the Big Y store, as well as some of the smaller storefronts attached to the building to accommodate the new supermarket. Davis Ave neighbor John Cochran had some concerns about the project.
A lot of things have changed since 1963, as Mr. Mackey had mentioned. And part of that is the size of vehicles. I look at these plans now. I was told that the ramp by which the trucks deliver product was not going to change. It's actually 180 degrees from where it is today. So those trucks are going to be directly in my backyard and Mr. Hebner's backyard. So those trucks are going to be basically, Cedar Realty owns the property. However, my whole thing was we were taking care of the property behind the house, mowing it, taking care of all of the annual cleanup, and Cedar Realty was supposed to take care of the trees along the right-of-way entranceway. On page 50 of 125 of one of the plans, I'm not sure exactly which plan it was, it shows parking in that area, which formerly was my backyard. It doesn't say, it was about, 10, 15 spots there. I want to make sure that is 100% off the table. It's bad enough that we have to deal with these trucks all hours of the night. The vacuum trucks that come down the truck, come around in the middle of the night, back and forth behind the plaza. There's several operational errors, and they all can be corrected. We just need to make sure that there's some sort of a mechanism put in place by which we can report.
The planning board continued the hearing until their next meeting on August 3rd. The Board of Selectmen went through a number of items during their Tuesday meeting. Items included the signing of the Forbes Hill purchase and sale agreement and a license submission to operate a restaurant as Mustang Pizza. I like the sound of that. Town Manager Tony Mazzucco spent much of the meeting presenting on the organization modernization outline, which highlights how the town's current operational system looks and what measures have been and could be implemented to move the town's operations in a positive direction. Chief Brooks also submitted a memoranda commending his department for stepping up when needed during the storm a few weeks ago, including Officer Brian Cedrone for answering a call involving a drug overdose.
Mention Brian Cedrone for the act that he did that probably saved that woman's life with his quick action and, injecting Narcan 3 different times that saved the woman. So, thank you, Brian, for knowing what to do, being obviously trained to do it. And I appreciate all the officers, as mentioned, regarding Deputy Chief Kelly and all the individuals in the letter. So thank you to all the, again, life safety individuals who respond consistently in this.
Thank you, Officer Cedrone and the entire police department for your hard work as always. The Board of Selectmen will meet again on July 28th. The Airport Commission met Wednesday afternoon with a few business items. The board approved a few commercial permits for the FY 2021 year, including Flight Level Norwood and Boston Executive Helicopter, among others. They also went through some Mass DOT change orders and discussed the West Apron, more importantly, its lack of use in quite some time, and what the commission can do to revitalize that revenue source.
I like John's comments, but I think we can do this on kind of two tracks. Russ can reach out to the former tenants there and gauge their interest. I know a lot of them have went to other airports, and at the same time, I like to direct council and Russ and you as the chairman to work on an RFP. And I would suggest that the RFP mirror somewhat the lease offering that was put out there to Boston Executive Helicopter. So that would be my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Sheehan. Is there a second on that?
And I'll support that. I second that.
Thank you. Motion made and seconded. Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Cochran?
Yes.
And Mr. Ryan votes yes.
The Airport Commission will meet again in the coming weeks. Wednesday night, the Finance Commission met and began their meeting with an appearance from State Representative John Rogers. Representative Rogers gave an update on the state's budget and how it will affect the town of Norwood. Members of the Selectmen and School Committee joined the Finance Commission on this call. Discussion lasted just over an hour, and Representative Rogers fielded many questions from the different board members. Following Representative Rogers' appointment, the board welcomed Chief Brooks for a municipal relief transfer within his department, and Town Manager Tony Mazzucco and Town Accountant Tom McQuaid updated the board on the financial relief from the storm. The next Finance Commission meeting will be in August. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org.